I recently talked a little bit about the importance of a bedtime routine in my last video. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about how to reduce anxiety and stress within that routine. My name is Gabby and I am a BCBA and a certified behavioral sleep specialist, and I talk a lot about all things sleep. What I wanted to chat about today are some ways that you as a parent can lower stress and anxiety for your child during the bedtime routine. Part of looking at how we can reduce problem behavior at bedtime routine is to look at some of the antecedents or triggers within that routine itself. Are there parts of the routine that are more demanding or difficult for your child? You know, those places in the routine that you as a parent know you're going to be faced with challenging behavior. Knowing these little situations or triggers can help us to focus on skills that a child may need to develop. It allows us to make changes to the routine and allows us to reduce stress for both your child and yourself. So let's talk about 3 conditions where problem behavior tends to occur. Some of you may already know that I work within school districts during the day, and I spend a lot of my time supporting staff and making recs to improve deficit skill areas for their students. And the following are 3 areas that I come across all of the time as a lagging skill: the ability to follow directions, the ability to relinquish, and the ability to transition. And pretty much all 3 of those conditions occur within your child's bedtime routine. And if you are struggling with them during the day, then you're most likely going to be struggling with them during this bedtime routine. So how can we improve your child's responses to these 3 conditions and still make strides within the bedtime routine? First thing I want to look at would be to work on these skills intentionally during the day. I do want to say that you want to make sure that these conditions or these skills are worked on proactively and under less stressful situations, so outside of the bedtime routine. Children should be practicing the skills that I had mentioned during the day where they can meet reinforcement quickly for cooperating with your ask. So aside from working on the skills during the day and doing some pre-teaching, during the bedtime routine, as it relates to following directions, if you have asked your child to, let's say, clean up their toys, then you may want to initiate that task for them and help them by putting some of the toys in the bin. Maybe you're putting 2% away, you might even be putting up to 25% away. But you will be helping by modeling the expectation and reducing stress because you've reduced the totality of the demand. Let's take another example. So you need to have them brush their teeth. Natural part of the bedtime routine. Don't focus on working on their OT skills of opening the toothpaste and squeezing the paste onto the brush. I would really recommend that you just put the toothpaste onto the brush for them and have that brush on the counter and ready to go for them. Yes, ideally you do want to be generalizing skills like the ones I just mentioned, especially OT, but if you are dealing with problem behavior at bedtime, we really do need to pick and choose our battles, at least initially. So just because there may be an initial recommendation to not focus on a skill like an OT skill during the bedtime routine does not mean that that would be the recommendation for always. So now let's talk a little bit about relinquishing. Relinquishing is just simply the act of giving up something that they have when you've asked them to do that. It's not always an easy skill, right? A lot of parents find that this is an area of great difficulty. So we're going to talk about this for a little bit. Ideally, relinquishing of items is something that is going to be worked on during the day at school or maybe within your home program. You're going to see a theme here, pre-teaching, so that your child gets accustomed to giving up something when they've been asked to, and then there's the opportunity to be directly reinforced for that desired behavior by maybe getting that item right back. So if I practice giving up the iPad when I'm asked to, I can get it right back once I've done that. There are entire protocols that can be developed for this specific skill, and I do spend a lot of time with staff that I'm working with to work on this skill with students within the school. If you want to know more about that, just leave me a comment below and I'll look to see if I can generate a quick video or a post about that for you. So let's say that during the bedtime routine that relinquishing is something that you cannot work on simply because your child may not have the skill set yet, or it just brings up too much problem behavior. So then let's alternate how we look at that routine. Think of setting up a scaffolding scenario. You're going to ask your child to give something up, but you're going to move on to something that they really do prefer. So from a preferred experience to a preferred experience. So basically, you're going to set up the routine so that your child is more likely to give up something that is extremely valuable to them when you're asking them to give it up, because they will be going from a valuable item to another highly valuable or almost as equally valuable item or activity. Not from a very valuable situation or a preferred activity to something that is an undesired. So let me give you a quick example. If your child really enjoys the iPad, as most children do, and you want to start the routine by ending the iPad an hour before bed, as I have recommended, then you want to look to set up the transition to give up the iPad and have your child move to another activity that they do enjoy and that falls within the realm of creating calm and quiet within their bedtime routine. However, if your child really struggles with giving up something as preferred as the iPad, then you would probably want to work on that well in advance of bedtime, so that by the time you start your bedtime routine, your child has had enough time between access to the iPad and the expectations that are about to come in the routine. If you need to do something like that, you're going to pretty much know that already based on your own child's response to giving up preferred items during the day. So let's talk about transitions. Maybe you see the transitions are the difficult part of the routine. They can relinquish well, they follow directions pretty decently, but they don't transition well from the playroom to the kitchen, or they don't transition well from the bathroom to the bedroom. Then there are a few things that you can do. One of the simplest recs is to use picture cues for your child. Make things much more salient for them. You can set up a visual schedule like a to-do and an all done, kind of like a T-chart, where you have each item completed or each completed activity move to the all done column. You can even use what I really like is an O-ring with just pictures like that you can flip through easily. The reason I really like that is because it's usually something that parents can transport with them easily within the house. It's small, so it'll slip into your pocket. You can hook it to your belt if you want to. And with an O-ring, you would follow the same format. You might show them what they're currently doing and then tell them, look, we're all done now. Okay, so let's go to, and then you would flip the picture on the ring. Sometimes I do recommend to parents that they work with a folder of pictures within their iPhone. So they have actual photographs of the activities in their home or locations in their home that their child is going to be doing during the routine, and then they swipe through the photos in their iPhone. As they swipe through the photos in their iPhone, you're showing your child, this is what we're currently doing, and this is what we're going to be doing next. Your child might even like to see the action of the pictures being swiped as you go through them. So yes, it does introduce a screen into the routine. However, it's not that the child or your child is sitting and watching the screen or watching a video or a movie. It's simply being used on a temporary basis to cue your child to what is coming next. And it should be under adult control, which usually when children are watching their videos on an iPad, it's not. In the end, it really is a matter of what works best for you and your child and what they will respond to. You want to work these recommendations within the framework of what you know best about your own child. What do they respond to typically? How do they process information better? We don't want to introduce something that may cause new problem behaviors. So you always want to individualize any recommendation to what you know works best for your child. And there you have it. 3 areas to focus on to help lower anxiety and stress within the bedtime routine. I hope this gave you a building block to work from. And please remember, When you are looking at weak or deficit skill areas, like the 3 that I tend to see, you want to be spending time teaching that and having your child meet and contact reinforcement for that during the day as well. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and please consider subscribing. If there is any content you would like to know more about related to sleep, then please comment below. I will link my Instagram account in the description as well so that you can follow me there, and check out the link in that bio for parent resources, including visual supports on setting up your bedtime routine. Thank you.